Okay, recording in progress. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, good evening around the world, good afternoon in Europe. Good day.
And very good morning in the west coast of the USA, right? It's 6 a.m. there now. But anyway, we want to welcome Jon and Tin, Chua, to our interview this morning. Okay, say hi, guys.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good evening, and what else? What's the other time zone?
In Europe, it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Good afternoon to those who are in 3 p.m.
And thank you, Pat and Marguerite, for inviting us to your talk show.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I mean, okay. I think when a lot of our leaders, okay, when I contact them, how about coming on to our interview? They were so worried that I said, no, I'm going to ask very hard questions. All right? Like, Jon, what's your name?
Yeah. So, yeah.
They think they're going on keeping up with the songs. So it's kind of hard.
Because you guys are such big superstars in New Skin. That's why everyone's nervous.
Well, look, there are no superstars, okay? We just got in earlier than you guys.
Yeah.
Right?
You'll be bigger. You'll be bigger superstar.
You can be just as big when time goes on, when your organization grows bigger. That's all. Equal opportunity.
That's
right. I mean, it's not that we got the only thing going. No, everybody's have the same chance, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, let's get on to the business. Okay, now that we have the serious stuff over. All right, tell us something about yourselves, okay?
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name's Jon. I am 44 years old, and I grew up here in the Philippines at the heart of Metro Manila in San Juan. And I studied in predominantly Jesuit background. So I studied in Xavier School and Ateneo, and graduated with a degree in management in the honors program.
Oh, so you were in business to begin with?
Yes, because I wanted to take up psychology, but I realized there's not much money there.
Okay.
So I'm Tin. I grew up in the province just south of Manila in Laguna. And I earned my bachelor's degree in economics from the University of the Philippines. I graduated magna cum laude and top of my class.
Whoa.
He's valedictorian.
Really?
Wow.
I'm a salutatorian. I salute to her.
Salute to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And can you see she's very intelligent? Because she knows how to pick a good husband.
I know how to leverage.
He found you.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, she's definitely intelligent, right? She found you, Jon. It was the other way around.
That's right. I agree.
Both of us are lucky.
Yes.
Okay, so after you graduated from college, what did you do?
So I was hired by Procter Gamble. We actually met there, and I was assigned to the customer business development department. So I was assigned to handle distributor operations. So in the Philippines, there are different retail channels, and there's the small moms and pops, and then the market stalls, and then there's the big chains. So eventually, I rose up the ranks and eventually handled modern retail accounts, handling a chain of hypermarkets in the Philippines. Part of Walmart.
Including Walmart. Oh,
so
yeah, P&G is a huge outfit.
Yeah.
It's kind of big.
Campbell's very big.
Yeah.
So when I graduated, I also joined P&G, but I am 4 years younger than he is. So I'm a junior manager in P&G, and I also handled top distributors and top supermarkets here in the Philippines. So that's where we met.
Okay.
Oh,
So one will take care of the big chain stores, the other one will took
I
care
was
of
in
this.
a competition. We were in
oh,
different teams. So
Right, right. So you're in different areas, so you don't have to. Hey, well, how come you have so few stores in your portfolio, right?
Walmart, I'm probably Costco. No, you're Costco, I'm Walmart or Target.
oh,
So it's
okay.
a Target.
So we were
Well,
talking to the owners of these big supermarkets and retailers, and we're helping them earn more money.
mm, But we must see how they operate and what kind of life they lead, right?
Yeah.
All these so-called big bosses, do they lead a really easy life?
Well, not at all. There's so much complexity in their operations, and the thing is, there are a lot of new players in the retail industry. So
Mm,
it was very competitive. They couldn't relax, because if they relax, there would be another store setting up across them, and so it was really like they're rushing to expand.
mm,
Mm.
mm. Yeah, that's what we understand. We have talked to several business owners. Is that they're all constantly worried about the competition. Not only that, they also worry about the staff. They may lose their staff. They train the staff very well, and then poof, they're gone. They went to the competition.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. So being a CEO is not that much fun, is it?
Not at all. Many of them are earning well, but really, when they get home, even when we were getting home at that time, we were still hypnotized with the obligations at work. So together with the promotions that we got, there were more responsibilities. And the interesting part about our job is that they expect us to have a good attitude. So even if we're already meeting our targets, but our counterparts are missing theirs, so they kind of ask us to help out.
That's me. I'm the counterpart.
Oh,
It's not fair, isn't it?
Well, yeah, they have different ways of explaining that to us to make us feel good and follow what they want us to do.
Yeah, well, I've always maintained that when you work in a group, not all the workers or the staff are working at the same level. However, since you're in the same group, you have the same target. That means you may be contributing a lot, but those guys the slackers, you have to drag them along. But you get extra pay for your extra work. You have maybe have a better title, right? You're the group leader. But
Yeah.
then the work is not evenly distributed, and the pay is not commensurate with the effort you put in, should I say? Okay, so all right, so you were both involved in a huge company, right? I mean huge. P&G is not small. I think maybe the biggest consumer product company at least I know in the US. I don't know about outside the US. They make everything from things you can eat, to wash your toilets with, everything,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Right.
detergents, I don't know about paper products, but anyway, okay. So you had fun working there?
Well, for me, it was pretty interesting because there were a lot of things that we learned. PNG has a good training program in developing its people. That's why one of the reasons that I decided to work for them was to get this business training instead of getting an MBA. We get all these business systems that we learn from the company, with the intent of eventually applying it to our own business.
Mm, mm.
How about
so
you?
you're already thinking about it, huh? Do your
Uh,
own business in the future.
well, to be honest, the PNG was not really my first priority when I graduated. Um, I kind of had this Jesuit philosophy of man for others and helping the country. So there was one side that wanted to go for social development. But at the same time, I was the eldest amongst the family. So I had to also help out with my siblings' education and my dad's business, because my dad's business was not doing as well at that time. And so I realized that before I help the country, I have to first help out with the family. And so that's why I went to PNG.
Well, there's a Chinese saying, right? Take care of yourself, then your family, then the country, and then rule the world.
Yeah.
But first step is take care of yourself first.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
For
How about-
me, well, actually, PNG has one of the best, if not the best, compensation packages in the Philippines. So, as a junior manager, I was earning close to an annual income of $50,000 a year, which is quite big for the Philippines. And since I did not have any financial obligations because my parents are doing well, my siblings are doing well, it was a very lucrative pastime. So I got to travel. The company had so many benefits. We got to change cars every so often. So that was the part that I enjoyed when I was starting out, when I was working.
Ooh.
So essentially, you guys are having fun at your jobs, right?
At
What-
the start, because we were traveling outside of Manila and we weren't exposed to the politics here in the headquarters. So
I think if especially coming from good schools and tough degrees, we were really looking for some stimulus to really exercise our minds, and I think PNG provided us that. However, I observed a pattern that the harder I work, the more work is given to me.
In that way, you're very good, very efficient. You're a very capable person. So load him up.
you are. That's what
Yeah,
I say.
it's interesting, Pat, because one time I asked my boss, "Hey, he and me are the same level, but I'm doing twice the work that he's doing."
Mhm.
And so the boss just told me that if they're preparing to promote you, they're gonna throw the kitchen sink at you. And so he kind of okay, and then but I said that's good, but cash is better. But anyway, so that was what happened in the corporate. While it was fun as we got promoted, we had uh, we had to play with the politics, and sometimes the things. Sometimes we also observe that there are things that we want to do, like go home early, but we cannot because other people in the office are not yet finished with their tasks. So we kind of have to be a little bit more sensitive to to other people. So it's like a business that if you're done, you're done. You can do whatever you want, right?
Not to show that they're inefficient, right? They couldn't get their work done. So you have to accompany them until
They
you
finish.
have to pay for their inefficiency, in other words, by
Yes.
staying late with them.
That's right. And I also observed that looking at the bosses, the people who are ahead of us, they were earning a lot of money, but um, they were like 12, 14 hours a day. And when they come to work, they're like stiff and serious. And during lunch break, very few people want to go with them because it's kind of stressful to eat lunch with them, except for those who want to get promoted. They want to have lunch with the bosses. Yeah.
You don't want to get indigestion, right? Having
That's
lunch
right.
with them.
Wow.
So how do you bump into new skin? Which one got into new skin first?
So I was invited.
First.
Yeah, I was invited by Dennis a long time ago, almost around 18 years ago. But the first invite, I received this call on the phone while driving in the car, and I remember saying, "No, I'm not interested." Then hanging up, and that was the first invite. I didn't know it was New Skin, but I was just not.
Yeesh.
The second time, a year later, Angie called me again and offered me that partnership. At that time, I was more open because in between that period, I already upgraded my financial literacy. I got to read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki.
Ah,
So at that point, I was actually looking for ventures to immerse myself into business.
mm,
This is the interesting part. Angie and Dennis invited to meet me at the ground floor Starbucks of our office building. And we were supposed to meet at 12 noon. At that time, there were Lapis executives. 12 noon was the meeting. However, we had a leadership team discussion with our department. And so when it comes to these types of meetings, highly stressful and it's really intense. And
mm.
so I forgot about the 12 noon meeting. And normally when we take a break, it's really like the time that we can breathe. So so I didn't even look at my phone at that time. We were in the middle of a cell phone and a pager that time. So we were not really as eager. So I had already finished my lunch at 12:45 and I checked my phone and there were multiple missed calls and multiple texts from Dennis and Angie. So I did not intend to be late. It's just that, you know, because of how work is so compelling, you know, we kind of forget some of the things that we commit to. So I eventually rushed to the Starbucks on our ground floor office. And I was kind of relieved that they were still there because I really didn't want to be a deceiver in terms of the meeting. So I apologized, and you know it's interesting because Dennis and Angie only had around 15 to 20 minutes to talk to me now because lunch break is almost over. So there, that's how Dennis and Angie invited us in a Starbucks meeting at the ground floor of our office building.
And what did they tell you?
Well, the interesting part was that, you know, yeah, well, what happened was quite surprising to me because you know when we're in corporate meetings, all of us are direct to the point, right? And we are very efficient in terms of communication. What's the idea? Let's go do it. And so when I arrived, I was surprised that they were still there, and they were smiling. They were not. They were not upset. Of course, I can imagine how I would have felt, right? But anyway, what happened was that I was surprised because I was quite curious what the project was all about. But Dennis did not present it immediately. He went on to understand better what I was doing and why I was open for a business. And so eventually, after asking me these questions, I told him that, well, I'm really looking into business because I want to transition my income. Because in corporate, I understand that even if I get promoted, I won't have time to do my public service ministry. So I know that it's only through a business that I can have more time to do the things that I want to do. And so he hasn't presented anything yet. And then he asked me if I would be open to looking at something that could provide me exactly that opportunity. And so he opened his new laptop then, and he showed me the biophotonic scanner. And it was the biophotonic scanner that made me very curious because it was there was nothing like that in the market in terms of wellness quantitative measurements.
Mhm.
So because of that curiosity, I signed up on the spot with a membership form, but not yet buying products. Just sign up, no commitment, and I got a portfolio. And you know, it's interesting because PNG has Olay, which is skincare also, right? So
Right.
I have a big white portfolio with the new skin on top. And I'm going to a leadership team meeting, and it's new skin. I'm going to an Olay meeting or a team with where we're marketing Olay. So I made sure that the new skin logo was facing my body, so no one could see. So that's how it got started with the biophonic scanner. Being curious, but then it was around 2 weeks until Dennis and I met up again. Because when Dennis would follow me up, I would be uh, answering maybe 1 out of 3 times.
Ooh, okay.
Uh, Primarily because I was kind of overwhelmed with the things that we were doing at work at that time. But since Dennis is a good guy, he's kind of patient, and he's not too intrusive. So I kind of reply once every three snubs, and and eventually I remember he lent me this brown envelope with some papers like these that were photocopied, myths and misconceptions about network marketing.
Mm.
And he was trying to set an appointment with me, and I was kind of always busy. But then he said that he needed that brown envelope with photocopied the documents back because someone needed to borrow it. So because of that exit package, I decided to meet up with him in Octagon and return it. And then he showed me
You read
around
it? You read the stuff inside before you return.
photocopies of the exit package. Basically, it's documents that talk about New Skin as a company, myths and
Right.
misconceptions about
You
network
read it
marketing.
before you return them, right? Instead
Yeah,
of,
but-
oh, here's the envelope, what's inside? I don't know. I haven't read it.
Yeah, he asked me if I actually read it 3 times, but the first 2 times I really haven't read it yet. So by the third time, I kind of felt, hey, I'm gonna return it already. Might as well breeze through it.
Take a look.
Keep
Okay.
nagging works. Right?
Yeah.
But I was kind of embarrassed because I really did commit to him that I would return the photocopied documents, which were so precious. I didn't know that he had a lot of those. And anyway, he eventually tours me around and introduces me to other partners like Sandy and Jerome San. And coming from an Ivy League school and Procter and Gamble, we kind of have this pride and ego that we're kind of bigger and better than everyone else, right? So when I came there, I was expecting to meet people who weren't so successful in their business or in their corporate careers. But then, I met Jerome San, who was Rich Dad Poor Dad Philippines, and also Sandy, and you know how Sandy can be very motivating. And so when I met them, and hey, it changed my perspective about what he was offering. Then he invited me if I was free for coffee that afternoon, and said I didn't have plans. Okay, we can have coffee. But then he said, "But I have to finish something first. Can you please sit and wait for me?" And I didn't know what was happening at that time, but it was already a BOM. It was a BOM, and Dennis was the next speaker. And
Oh,
yeah, I was surprised that there was this host that was introducing the person who invited me there, and wow, he was a lapis executive. I didn't know what it was, but edification works. And so he went on to discuss, and I became more open and tried some products first.
uh-huh. So, okay. So he actually brought you to a BOM to return the paperwork.
Yes,
was very
directly. Indirectly.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So then, so you were more open. So then you joined, you're serious after that, you change your mind, or what happened?
Well, after that, I decided to buy 2 products, LifePack and Cordimax. Cordimax because I was an athlete in track and field, and I was also an asthmatic. So that he recommended Cordimax for the lung health. So I used the products, but at that time I was still in investigation mode.
Okay.
I was interested, but I was not yet decided. So my response was, let me just try the products first, then I'll get back to you. And at that around the same time, I was already traveling to Thailand to make purchasing trips for my garments business. So I had another traditional business at the same time. And I was surprised because in 2 to 3 weeks of using Cordimax, I experienced more energy, more endurance. And first time I drove 9 hours on the road. And I was surprised that by the time I finished that trip, I still had enough energy to play with my kid brother. So in my mind, this is too good to be true. But then another thing happened in our basketball games. Before I used to run out of air and coach, I need to sub already. But after a week of using Cordimax, I didn't ask for substitution. The endurance kind of improved already. And third, when we went to Thailand, wake up at 5 a.m. and can still go the entire day without getting tired. So that kind of solidified the belief that these products work. And because the products work, then I am going to now take the business more seriously.
Mm. And how about you, Tin? How do you get interested in new skin?
So that year that he joined, he invited me to Octagon, to the building where New Skin is, to see the business opportunity meeting. But at that time, I was 2 years in the company. I was newly promoted and I was newly assigned to Metro Manila. So before I was assigned like 600 kilometers away from Manila. So I was newly assigned to Manila. So I saw the BOM, and because I never saw myself doing business, because my family is all in the academe corporate, so no one is a business person in my family. I never saw myself doing business. So when he invited me, I saw Dennis present in the same room that he was in, and I said pass.
She rejected me.
Were you married yet at that point?
No, we were not dating. She was dating someone else.
Ooh, sorry.
Yeah.
So there. So that was in 2004. And then after 2 years, after 2 years in my job, I was surprised that Jon was still doing New Skin. So I was surprised that he was doing New Skin. And even if that year he was awarded as our department's best in class black belt district manager. So he's very humble, but he's one of the best managers PNG has ever had. They were so regretful to see him go, but there. And at that time, so this was 2 years after my first invitation, you invited me to play Cash Flow, the Cash Flow board game. By Robert Kiyosaki. So he invited me to play Cash Flow board game, and my interest was piqued when I discovered that I was the first one to escape the rat race, and it was my first time to hear about passive income. So that's when I realized that I was a rat in the rat race, and there was a way to escape it. And so I asked him after playing that game, is New Skin the answer to escaping the rat race? Is that why you were doing the business? And so he proceeded to draw on a piece of scratch paper the compensation plan, and okay, I got it. So I signed up after that. So I was his downline. Now I'm the upline. Just kidding.
Yes.
So there.
We are.
Right.
All the time.
Just kidding. So
Well, Jon. Okay.
yeah.
Well, we've been married for 49 years, okay?
Wow! Golden anniversary next year. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. You know, I will teach you one way to always have the last word. Hmm?
Yes.
Want to hear it?
How?
Oh,
Yes, dear.
nothing comes after that.
That's what you always have the last word, okay? Yes, dear.
Better listen to Pat.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that both of you were in, okay, so what even got you more interested to start to develop your business?
Well, I guess after playing that Cash Flow 101 workshop, we understood the concept of, I understood the concept of financial freedom because I played it before Tin did. And after playing that, I immediately made my own Excel worksheet setting up my targets for my passive income over my total expenses. And so beginning that year, I already made targets every year to build my non-work income. And at that time, New Skin, to be honest, when I decided to join New Skin and attend the trainings, I was in what we call investigation or spy mode because the promise of Blue Diamond and 2 or financial freedom is very compelling. But at the back of my head, I had doubts whether it was real and whether it was really possible with an industry that something that I didn't fully understand and I didn't know people who succeeded. So my principle was that I cannot say no to this until I've understood it properly. So I went into
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people shut the door before they understand.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a common problem. Even with my prospects, they shut the door on my face and and reject me. That's why until now they're still working. And so at that time, I understood what well, I went into boot camps. I went to the Hong Kong convention and went to the Hong Kong center and eventually understood better about my personal goals. The thing is, when we're in corporate, there is a tendency to shift our time commitment and investment towards corporate goals, key
Not your
performance.
own goals, but the company's goals.
Yes, and since we're kind of living well, we kind of feel it's acceptable to kind of forget our own goals, right? But one thing that happened at the first 3 years of my job was that I was 21 when I started working, and my youngest brother was 5 years old.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I was like the eldest, and he's the youngest, right? So my dad was busy with his business, so I was kind of home most of the time playing with my kid brother. But from 5 years old to 8 years old, I was assigned in Mindanao, which is like a 2-hour flight away from Metro Manila, and I would be able to visit the family 4 times a year, a total of 20 days out of 365 days. So I was like an out of town Filipino worker, and early in my life, I experienced how it is to earn good money, have recognition and prestige, but not be with the family and not be happy. So I was young, rich, but not happy. And what happened eventually when I was assigned back to Metro Manila, they promoted me, so more work. So when I got home, what would happen was that I would be quite tired, and so I'd really just go home to eat, sleep, and shower, and go back to work. And so it kind of did not fit the reason for me working, because the reason I was working was to give the best for my family. And financially, I was able to support my dad. But every time I got home, I don't have time to really spend with them. And, you know, when you become a corporate manager and you kind of get, you know, your ego pumped by the company, I was kind of getting less patient with the people at home. So I was a little bit more
Frankie.
yeah, something like that. And so you know, my brother, when he cannot sleep, because if you have a young kid at home, unless you kind of let them relax, you really cannot do anything else, right? So my strategy was like to read him stories so that he could go to sleep. But when I was working, I was watching TV. Not really interested with the TV, but because I was tired and my mind was kind of hyper, I just needed some relaxation. Then he comes into my room like he used to and asks me, "Hey, big brother, can you tell me a story?" Then I said, "Hey, James, can you be the one to tell me the story? Because I'm the one who wants to go to sleep, but I can't." But I was kind of joking to him. But what was striking was that he didn't complain. He just said, "Okay." Then he turned around and walked out the door. And at that point in time, I felt really guilty that I was a superstar at work, but at home I was not being the brother, big brother that I was for my brother. But the next day, because of the environment at the office quite compelling, I kind of forgot about it and dismissed it. Until a few weeks later, I was in that same position after work, tired, just watching TV, and I observed that my brother did not knock on my door anymore.
Mm.
No use to knock on the door. You keep on getting refused.
Yeah. And so at that point, I already understood that earning a lot of money but not having time with the family is not meaningful. And that's not going to provide me the happiness that I want. And so I understood that if I wanted to have my kids, I don't want the same thing to happen again.
Mm,
So that's
good.
why,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
So
that's why, yeah.
that's how you decide to get more serious about New Skin.
Yes, and one of the things that helped in the new skin immersion, even if I was not earning as much money in the first few years, was that it was always a positive environment, and it was an environment that empowered us in terms of having personal goals,
Mm.
not pursuing the goals of other people. And eventually, when we had our first daughter, I was actually at a crossroad because I was offered to handle Southeast Asia region to be
Ooh.
expatriated to Singapore. Um, and if I had accepted that, I would get promoted faster and perhaps be based in Cincinnati and handle a global role later on. But I knew at that time if I took that role, I would get promoted. But my daughter, our first daughter, would grow up seeing her dad busy. So even when I was promoted, I decided to leave PNG and as a gold executive at that time because I set a very simple goal. At that time, I was separate from Tin's salary. I was earning roughly $5,000 a month in PNG, and we were spending $1,000. So there's $4,000 spare, right? So no problem with money, no problem with money at all. And at that time, when I if I kept on working in PNG, I knew that our daughter would grow up and the dad was still busy. So because of that, I said, at 30 years old, earning $5,000 a month, working 10 to 12 hours a day, I wanted to shift by 35 to earn $10,000 a month, but work 4 hours a day.
Mm.
And this goal was kind of bold if you compare it to my office mates. But fortunately, I was exposed to people like Sandy, like Dennis, like Pax, like Percy, like Ria, and I saw the alternate reality outside the corporate world that was much bigger and more promising than what a corporate career offered.
Mm. So you finally saw the light and make the switch. But that's a big decision because to most people it would be better to have a so-called secure job, right? You get paid regularly, except to get that pay, you pay a price for that too.
Yeah.
Your family. Most people don't realize that. Oh, I got lots of money, but you don't even know your daughter. Could be worse. You don't even know your wife,
Right.
right? So a lot of people don't think of that. or they say, oh yeah, I got this corporate, I'm a corporate whatever. Okay. High-ranking corporate officer. You get paid highly, except you pay a high price for that too. Most people don't think about that. Okay. So did you leave Procter and Gamble when you were gold executive?
Yes, I left P&G as a gold executive, and then in 2 months became a ruby, and then stayed ruby for 2 years, then became an emerald. Then after another year, 1 year became blue diamond. Within
So you
3 years, we were able to. I was able to replace my fixed salary linear income with semi-leveraged passive income with Skin. And at that point in time, I invited her to help build the family business now.
Because I stayed in PNG for 3 more years while he
Okay.
started the business. So then he offered me my retirement package after 3
Oh, good.
to be
I
a
see.
full-time mom.
Mm.
So from emerald to blue diamond. That's when we built it, from emerald to blue diamond.
Very
Wow.
interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. Well, I guess since both of you were from a big corporation, that one of you stay behind just to make sure. Right? Well, that's part of the reason I stay behind
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Me and Pat stayed behind.
Yeah.
Good. Well, great minds think alike. Okay.
Yeah. High five.
So okay, now that tell us something about your insight into New Skin. Why you think New Skin is so much better than, corporate world.
Well, when we were starting out, when I was starting out with the business, I noticed that the day-to-day job that I did in P&G wasn't any different with what I had to do in New Skin. It's training an organization, building capability, and building a distribution network for consumers, for a consumer product. But that day-to-day added up to a different long-term vision if I stayed in a job versus if I did the same thing in New Skin. So you want to share how it's gonna pan out long term?
So yeah, what I saw doing the business part time for 3 years while immersing with New Skin. First thing I noticed was that New Skin, from my perspective, taking it seriously, is more long term than my corporate job. So I was recognized as a black belter because my performance were like top for at least 3 years, even the fourth year, no. And the thing was that I understood that no matter how good I built the team that I was on at that time, the next day I stopped working, no more money. I built something so good, then goodbye,
Paycheck.
no more.
Well, there's another difference too. You guys have a big organization in P&G, right? You're running all these, your downline, so to speak, your corporate downlines. When you decide to leave, would that corporate downline come with you?
No.
No. Right? Once you leave P&G, that's it.
That's right.
Everybody stays with P&G.
With someone else.
Well, yeah. Someone, whoever inherited your job, right? But with New Skin, hey, now that you build an organization, it's yours forever. There's a slight difference.
A very slight difference that it's called equity ownership, and I realized that my title, I did not own it because I saw people in the office who were 10 years older than me, who were high performing 5, 10 years ago, but eventually were asked to retire early by the company. So then I understood that PNG doesn't, or sorry, I think that's kind of a big statement. Corporate shareholders don't really love their people. They just keep on the relationship as long as it is viable for them. And I saw many of the people that I admired in corporate to have been in a way um, forgotten when their performance were no longer at its peak. So I kind of had no disillusion that the company really loved me. And at that time, my parents were getting older as well, and I wanted to take have more time to spend with them. Instead of being an expat overseas, I would rather stay in the Philippines to be with my parents and take care of them.
Mm.
And so the first difference is that I saw New Skin building the business as long term because we own what we build.
Mhm.
Versus short term, no matter how big the paycheck, the next day when we stop working, money stops coming in. So that's the first difference. The second difference was that when I go into a leadership team meeting in in my in PNG, there were a lot of discussions about next man up, the next people to be promoted, and there were a lot of people who were ambitious and were willing to work hard. But the environment was that they had to wait in line, a very long line, while the people who are taking it easy have not yet retired or have not yet been let go. So there's a very long line. So for people who are ambitious and passionate, uh, we tell them to wait a little bit more. You will have your turn. Don't worry, we have plans for you. And because that's what they told me also. And compared to me attending a new skin event, it was more abundant. What's your goal? Let's do it now. Is that what you really want? Let's pursue that. So it's very different. When I go to work, take it easy in terms of what you want to happen for your benefit. But for the company's benefit, go, go, go. In New Skin, what the discussion is more often, what do you want to happen first? And with that, I felt that my values as a person who also wanted to help other people, I could help more people here in New Skin rather than in corporate, because corporate there's a lot of politics involved, and finance always wants to save money. So bit by bit they take out the benefits, and they kind of reduce it discreetly, and so eventually the new people won't have as good opportunities. Also, people in New Skin were more sincere. I saw them to have a genuine integrity. And I saw the New Skin pursuit to become Blue Diamond as a project to build freedom and build peace of mind. In my career, if I kept on doing what I was doing, I understood it already that I was building a busy and stressful life. So if I kept going in corporate, it's going to become more money, but more trapped, more busy, busier schedule. So I understood that when I do New Skin, it's not just because New Skin is a great company. It's not just New Skin because New Skin has great products, but because New Skin can provide financial freedom, time freedom, and peace of mind. So I made the decision to invest my time, my talent, intelligence, and capability to build freedom and peace of mind through New Skin instead of a busy and stressful life and with a lot of politics in the corporate world. So those were the differences that I observed.
Very good, very good. Yeah. Well, I only hope more people see it that way, isn't it? A lot of people, I'm a big wig inside the company. So what do you want me to do this? You want me to do this? I'm a whatever manager, director. I got lots of responsibility. Yeah. Is it yours? Is that you don't own that job? Whatever thing you do, You
Job
don't
owns-
own that. You don't own that. Okay. I mean, once you start working, you're done. Gone.
Exactly.
And like my lawyer, my former law partner kept reminding me, an employee is frangible. Always. That means you can be replaced.
Yeah.
That's right.
Disposable.
Right? I mean, don't ever think you're irreplaceable. If something happens to you, there's always a whole line of people wanting your position.
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, okay, that's very interesting. She
And
should
also,
have
Pat, just
really-
to before we move forward, one of the things that really inspired me back then because I heard that someone who was a lawyer and a VP from Mobile Oil began carrying bags for his wife. So I realized that I realized that the titles are not as meaningful as having time with the family.
Who was that?
Until now, it's still a blind item.
Wait a minute. Not BP. I work for mobile. Don't get me.
Just kidding.
Anyway. So you guys saw the difference, right? And then started building your new skin organization, and you have done very well. Congratulations. Okay. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I wish more people would see this and join us, because it is a lot more meaningful to build an organization that not only can you help yourself, by building an organization, you're helping everybody within your organization.
Yeah.
Unlike in a corporate job, you're helping the shareholders essentially. So what it is, because no matter what you do, the bottom line with a corporation is with the shareholders, not you. Here you get to develop your own values, and you can do your skills or whatever. It makes a big difference. It's a self-development process too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because when
Very
you're
much.
working for corporation, everything is just different. Anyway, okay, excellent. So, what you want to ask them a
You
question?
ask
I've been doing all the talking.
That's okay. That's okay.
No,
Cool.
we've
Go
done
ask.
that. Okay,
Yeah.
now getting closer to the present time, I think the COVID-19 hits news, got in the Philippines too, right? You guys got locked down just like what we did last year. How did that affect your business?
Well, for us, it was in a way a blessing in disguise because before the lockdown, we were building teams in different areas in the Philippines. So both Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, three islands. So I was traveling pretty frequently. So what happened was that since everyone had to transition to online meetings like Zoom, and what happened was that we were able to consolidate all these groups into one meeting instead of having smaller groups into different small groups to one bigger group. Also, because of the quarantine, there were more people who had more time to understand the Type 5 project and the concept of building leverage income versus before they listen but they really don't really
Here.
see how it applies to their lives. So
Right.
when their linear income was kind of shaken, they kind of might as well be more open, right? So in our case, it allowed us to consolidate our organization and have more efficiency. So I don't have to travel many times. I can just have one meeting. At the end of the meeting, I can just walk out of my office and have dinner with the family. So so, so it was pretty good. But I do have friends who have big businesses, and there was one that had, I think, around 400 stores in the mall, and malls didn't have operations for a few months, and each of those stores had a couple of employees. So now
Mm.
to both the lease and the payroll were they didn't let go of their employees for quite a while. So for a few months they were kind of still paying off these without any revenue, with zero revenue, because they didn't have online presence yet at that time.
Mhm.
So for many traditional businesses, they were badly hit because of COVID. Uh, in our case, we're quite fortunate because our new skin has already set up the online system, has partnered with the logistics providers. So and now we have my site and online purchasing. So
Mm.
it's much more efficient and convenient for
Mm.
us, new skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, well, that's what we found. Well, every group we talked to, COVID-19 turned out to be a blessing. Before we used to meet face to face, and I don't know how you guys do it in Manila. The traffic jams you have. Whoa. Oh,
Terrible.
I'm on my way, right? Which I'm on-
3 hours
Wait
later.
for 2 hours. 2 hours. I'm on my way. 2 hours.
Yeah.
But now you cannot say, hey, I'm on my way, right? You're on the internet. What are you talking about? No traffic jam on the internet.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, that in a sense that helped us. I mean, it sounds horrible that, because of the lockdown, our business got better. Meanwhile, a lot of other people suffered, but that's the way it happened. So what can I say? So, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
seriously,
We need to clip it up.
Yeah.
Pretty soon we need
What-
to clip it up like this.
what do you think is the most attractive thing about New Skin? Is what the products, the business itself, or all of the above?
You want to say something?
I just said all of the above, but you
All
can
of the above. It's a whole package. In other words, right?
Well, I think definitely the products are fantastic. We have friends who are loyal users of our products, and we cannot use other products. And here's some bit of trivia. Tin and I were sales managers, so we kind of get free Olay products as samples.
Okay.
But then we decide to pay money to use New Skin products, even if Olay is free. Because we try Olay on one side, New Skin on one side, and it's so different.
Wow.
um, the dust sticks here. The dust falls down here because it's oil based, right? And
Mhm.
versus water based. So the products are fantastic. I think also the earning opportunity is fantastic. But for me, one of the most important things that the New Skin opportunity gave me was to meet people like you, Pat and Marguerite, people like Joseph, Janet, and Philip, people like Frank Young and Rowena and Boris, Sandy, Dennis, and Angie. Without New Skin, I wouldn't have met these people who would inspire us to dream bigger and believe in our vision. I used to have that vision before starting to work. After working, I forgot all about it. And so, it's really empowering that from a situation of uncertainty, is it really a life of compromise through and through, or is it possible to really live the life that we want of freedom? And it was also a struggle doing the business part time because on one hand, you encounter challenges on your business, and on the other hand, you're paid well in your job.
Right.
So it was a constant struggle. But I think the best gift of New Skin is the ability to control our lives today. And that ability to control our lives comes from the confidence that we built going through the process of becoming a Ruby executive, strengthening that Ruby organization to become an Emerald executive, eventually to become a Blue Diamond organization. It's really the personal development inside of us. And so one of the things that I believe is important is that our why was clarified. Our values were clarified. What's important to us in our lives? Why are we working hard? What for? And for me, it was just two words: freedom and family. Freedom
Mm,
and family. So that's the first. Second is alignment of our decisions to our values. When I talk to a lot of prospects, everyone wants type 5, wants financial freedom, but their decisions are not aligned to what they want, right?
mm,
And it's tough because sometimes your models are people are busy and rich, and it's okay to compromise. Here, we are able to make decisions that are aligned to our end result. And so these things are, I think, priceless because, you know, in if I were to do a traditional business, I'd pay a lot of money for a consultant to give me a little bit of time, but does not really guide or mentor me in the holistic perspective of life,
Hmm.
well-rounded. And so that I believe is very rare. And because of that decision, we are available to our parents, we are available to our kids, we have a lot of control in our lives and peace of mind, and of course, great health. So I think it's that ability to control our lives, which is my most favorite product of New Skin.
Mm,
mm.
mm, mm.
That's good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah.
So I'm just curious, Tin, when you first started, did your parents, since they're very academia, did they have any objections for you?
Well, because in the Philippines, pyramid schemes are proliferating here. So they were they were kind of asking me if I was sure that I was replacing my job, my 6-figure monthly job with a pyramid scheme.
Mhm.
So to them, anything network marketing is like pyramid scheme. Well, at least my mom did, but my dad has been always supportive of everything. So whenever he came to Manila, he would go with me to the office, get biophotonic scan, try the product. So it was just really, I guess, a misunderstanding of the industry. So but right now, they've always supported whatever decision that we've made together. So especially when they see the success that, I mean, when we're recognized on stage, when they see these things, and when they, when grandparents see their grandchildren are neglected because I was at work, of course they will start supporting something that will allow me to focus more and become a more hands-on mom to their grandchildren. So eventually, when they saw that I could be a full-time parent because of this business, they finally understood that it was a business. I mean, not a scam, not a scheme. And they also started trying out the product. So they're users of our product. They're customers for New Skin products. So it was really just that my parents didn't understand businesses because they were in research and professors in school. So it was
Mm,
just more of explaining to them how the whole thing works.
mm.
Mm.
John, what about your parents? Your father was in small business, right?
Yes. Well, when I wanted to leave my job and I was telling him about it, uh,
Ooh.
we were in a Sunday dinner, and was kind of surprised. And later on, my mom told me that my dad told her that, look at our son, and this is in Filipino, but it sounds like this in English. He's already lying down on the bed. Why does he want to go back to the floor? So 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 he has such a soft bed. Why does it? And so in that dinner, here's what happened. My dad calls because he was trying to talk to me, but he kind of understood us kind of strong-willed and independent-minded. So and he didn't also want to contradict me directly. So he called his friend who's been doing Amway for more than 10 years. My uncle, right? My like a friend of my dad, and he says, "Oh, talk to your uncle and get his advice." Kind of, I think, suggesting that I might want to take it slow. But this guy from Amway, he says, "So are you serious with what you want? Or just make sure that you talk to your uplines and make sure that you're serious with what you're gonna do." And so at that time, I understood that my dad wanted, because my dad struggled through the challenges of a small business, and taking care of a big family. And so he saw how stable my job was. He saw how well taken care we are in terms of benefits. And he just wanted the best for me. But at the same time, one of the reasons why I wanted to leave PNG was that I wanted to have more time to take care of him and help him in his business, because I didn't have that much time in PNG. And I understood that he wanted my comfort, but I also understood that I was also doing it for him, so that I can have more time to take care of him while as he grew older and spend more time. And in 2008, I decided to leave that expat role in PNG to do New Skin full time. And after a year, the business was strong Ruby income. So not yet type 5, but a decent income. And my dad invited me to go back to visit China, to visit his home province. And I was able to accompany him, because I had that control of my time. And for 7 days, I was like the personal assistant of my dad, carrying his bags. And you have to understand that the people there were all uncles, like uncles. And so I really didn't have anyone to talk to. And so all the events were uncle events. So like uncle dinners, conventions. And so I didn't mind, because my role there was to support my dad. And so at work, just a year before, I was like a senior manager in a multinational company. But this time, I am the official photographer. Hey, Pat, go there, take a picture, a smile, and I'd carry his bags. And for me, that was meaningful, because unfortunately, a year later, my dad passed away.
Oh,
And it was quite sudden, and it was totally unexpected. And being the eldest, one of my biggest regret was that I didn't have a longer time to take care of him, because I remember when we were kids, even if he was struggling with his traditional business, he'd never scrimp on us. If it's hot, turn on the aircon. Being the eldest, I tell my siblings, let's turn off the aircon. It save money for Papa. And when he knocks and comes in, hey, why is the aircon off? Turn it on. And so he was always generous with his hard work for a comfortable life for the family. And so one of my life's mission was to give back to him without condition. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to leave corporate, so that I could take care of my dad. And so I was quite crushed. And here's the sad part: I was gonna give him a car on his 60th birthday, but he passed away a month before. So so what my only regret was that I dilly dallied with my New Skin opportunity for 3 years. Because if I had done it sooner, then I'd have more time to take care of my dad in these small ways, no. But still, in that 3 weeks that I was really devastated with my dad's sudden passing, um, those pictures in China saved me. Uh, it helped me cope. not regretting that I missed that opportunity to be with him. Because if I had known that it would have, it was like there's a deadline, you know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been so complacent with pursuing financial freedom.
Yeah.
So yeah.
A very moving story. You okay?
I'm okay.
See? Anyway, yeah. Well, that's very traditional Chinese value. Okay, take care of your parents. Seriously, I mean, it's very good for you to take care of your father like that. To go back to China and at least find out
Oh, your uncles.
Your roots. Yeah, find out you have such a huge family, right? All the uncles.
Yeah.
So which town, which province was your dad from?
Jinjiang province, a town called Liukang. And the interesting part is that my uncle, my uncle, my grandfather, uh, was born there but left China because it was really so difficult during that time, roughly 12 years old. And I was the only one amongst all cousins who was able to see his ancestral house and see that beach where my grandfather stowed away in a boat to come to the Philippines as a poor kid.
Mm.
And I felt that was very meaningful because my dad was the eldest and I'm the eldest of the family. So it's kind of meaningful in the sense of our history as a family.
Mm. 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 Yeah. Well,
Someday you could bring your kids back there. Take a look.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I was suggesting for us to live in China for a few months, so they can learn how to speak Mandarin effectively.
Oh,
mm. Mm. So, how about you, Tin? Do you have family? Are you originally from China or you from the Philippines?
Everyone asks if I'm from China. Actually, I'm not Chinese. I just have smaller eyes than John. I'm pure Filipino. So my parents are both Filipino. We are born here. But our background is different. So like I mentioned earlier, none of my relatives have done business. My dad both come from poor families. They where they were both self-made, and my dad is a graduate of Cornell University. So he yeah, so and my mom has been working in a lot of international organizations with regards to agriculture. She's a social scientist, so she's also an economist. So that's the reason why I took up economics. So they both have been doing a lot of projects for like World Bank, ADB. So they're well traveled and well published. So and so they were able to really provide us comfortable lives growing up. Never had to ask for anything really when I was growing up, and we even got to travel, study abroad when they got fellowships abroad. We would go with them, and they even put my brother through MS. He took up his masterals in Stanford University. So both of them were really into have built really successful careers in the academe. And so like I mentioned earlier, I didn't really have any financial obligations to support my family. But right now I'm the only child that's still in the Philippines because my elder brother is based in Pittsburgh. So he works for a big engineering firm. And my younger sister is based in Australia, in Sydney. So she works as a manager for a pharmaceutical company. And I think that's the best well, not so much that we have to financially support them, but because they're super okay. But every time they need something, I could just go home and drive for them, or spend all this time with well, the kids are like my gate pass. If I don't bring the kids, it's like I have to bring the grandchildren to visit them. So because of the freedom that this business has given us, I get to host everyone when they all come home to the Philippines to get together. So
Oh,
so
that's
that's
nice.
yeah. So there.
Wow. So you have reached out to Pittsburgh and Australia.
Yeah, but I've always been left behind because I had small kids to take care of. So whenever they went there to visit, I couldn't travel because lugging around 3 kids, it will be like 10 luggages probably to bring around. It's so hard to travel when they're small. So we were hoping that this was the time to travel now that they're bigger. Our
Mhm.
youngest is turning 9, but then COVID put a halt on our plans to travel and visit there.
Well,
Next year.
yeah, COVID will be hopefully
Yeah,
it'll be
it'll
over
be
soon.
eventually
So,
it'll be finished.
so we can travel. Yeah, I
Wow.
mean, I don't even remember when was the last time we were in the Philippines.
2018, you were with Don Jr., Don Cake Jr.
I see. I see. Okay.
Wow. That's right. That was when you and Don went. I stayed with Shannon
Yeah,
in
you
Hong
say in
Kong.
Hong
Yeah.
Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's great.
Wow,
my
that's
God.
very
Okay.
interesting. Very
Uh,
interesting. All right.
Okay. Okay.
So I think we have pretty much covered
Yeah.
all this.
Your
It's just
word,
that
yeah, I know what. Your words of wisdom for newcomers, what they need to do to be successful.
Okay. I think number one, find out what's really important in your life and dream big. Number two, nurture your desire and belief with the right environment. And what is that right environment? You want to go to a situation or an environment where people who are there are people who are already where you want to go or are on their way towards that. Because that's how you can help develop your persistence and drive to keep at pursuing your dreams. And lastly, treat each experience, whether good or bad, as a learning opportunity, because there's a lot of insight in each experience. Whether you get rejected, whether there's a dream stealer, there's always a learning opportunity there. When you get a strong business builder, there's also a learning opportunity there. But always have that learning perspective.
Agree. Absolutely. Wow. Okay. Anything I don't know. Everybody's so good. No one has any questions. Yeah. But
Well,
it is pretty late too. It's pretty
what
late
time
for
is
them.
it?
10:23.
Wow, we've been
Yeah.
talking for more than an hour.
I know. Yeah.
You talk so much. Okay. Anyone we know online here? No.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you have a downline here in the US.
Yes. Hi to Doc Celine.
Yeah, but I
Uh,
think she's not here.
Oh,
I
she's
think she
not.
had to go to work.
yeah.
She has an office.
Mm,
Yeah, so she's not here.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll make sure she watch this recording.
She was on. She was on.
She
I
was
think, yeah, she was on.
Okay. Well, it's 9 o'clock is work time here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So whenever you come to US with your 3 little ones, you're not little. 9-year-old is
They can take care of themselves.
I
pretty much.
know each one has to take care of their own bag, what they want to do, right?
Mm.
And this is okay, let's go on track. What
Yeah. They have 2 girls, they would bring a lot of luggage.
oh no. All four all the women share one Lumi spa. No. Probably they'll say, I want my own.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know.
Yes, we're looking
So-
forward to that time, and we'd love to see your wonderful mansion. At that time when we were just qualifying executives, your house was always part of our BOM. And so at night, I'd see the house and the rug and how comfortable that dog is. And the next day, I have to go back to work. So, so it's really so meaningful for you guys to have made your choices the way you've done, and we really are inspired. Especially, and that inspiration is so meaningful, especially when we were at the beginning, when there's nothing to show for and things are not going our way. And I do remember meeting you guys for the first time one dinner. I wasn't even yeah, we were qualifying exec. I was qualifying executive at that time. Tin wasn't there in the business yet, and you were just asking us what's our goal and what's our favorite product in that dim sum place in Manila, and those experiences help us nurture that belief that someday we can become like you, and thank you for that and visiting the Philippines. Your life is an inspiration to us. So we are very fortunate.
We are so honored to be interviewed.
No.
It's our,
Yeah, it's our
yeah,
honor.
honor.
I mean, here two corporate managers explaining to us why they gave up corporate work. That's priceless, really, to a lot of people. That maybe in the same situation, they have to decide: okay, do I want to stay in the corporate world, or I want my freedom back? There's something to think about. Right? Most people, we've been trained to think, okay, like Kiyosaki always maintained, right? Study hard, get a good job. For heaven's sake, Tin was the #1 student in her class.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of people say, hey, you're a scholar. Why you want to do this? But this led to your freedom. Can you put a price tag on that? No. Right? No, very obvious. But a lot of people don't see that. All they think about is, okay, I got this secure job. They'll pay for everything.
Car, everything.
Yeah, but think about this. What happens when you get a raise? You get a better car, you get a better clothes, a bigger house. So your pay raise before you got it is all gone.
Yeah,
that's right. And you're more trapped.
Yeah, you get a bigger house, everything gets bigger because you get a little bit pay raise.
And sadly, they don't have time to enjoy the house.
That's another thing. Yes.
that is true. Yeah.
Our bosses had the big mansions in the Philippines, but I saw how they would be under Blackberries once upon a time, Blackberries, and they couldn't really enjoy their time with the family. And one thing that really bothered me was when they asked me about some tips about their teenagers because they kind of had a gap in terms of communication. So I said, I don't want to be like that because for people to get promoted, they have to spend more time at work than taking care of their kids, right? And so it was pretty clear through the examples of my bosses that I wanted a better life.
Yeah.
But thanks to you guys, that better life was concretely modeled. So thank you very much, Pat and Marguerite.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I mean,
thank you. I think this is a good story, and I love it because my father passed away a year ago. I think it hit me.
You're gonna start crying again.
No,
for heaven's
okay.
sake.
I'm okay.
I think you're type 5 for a long time already, Marguerite.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so anyone has any questions?
Yeah.
For our guests here?
Anybody has any tough questions?
Okay, let me stop the recording. So.
Yeah.
All right. Say goodbye to the recording.
Bye.
No. Yeah, bye.